Hey everybody, how's it going today? It's Go Green PM. Well, we got a little bit of snow last night. Now the wind is really blowing out here. And we're supposed to get some more snow squalls right off the lake. You can see those clouds are not looking so friendly. So, I'm about to start another project. Here's the wood pile. Put quite a dent in it already. This is all ash, and then there, let's see if I can point it out. That's basswood, which is just garbage. I shouldn't even have put it in here. And then the second row in is all pine, which is good. And the back is all hard maple. So the back one's going to be for when it's really cold out. So, anyways, today's project is I'm going to go out here and I had somebody tell me to put a band-aid over the microphone on this thing. But I don't have any band-aids right now, of course. So hopefully the wind's not too bad when I go out here. But what I'm going to do is turn my straight blade on my skid steer into a box blade. Because for what I found now after using this machine out on my driveway, is I don't need to push the snow off to the side. This thing can move so much snow that I'm better off just having a box blade and not having to worry about it all spilling out all over the place. So, and as you can see, there's a jack. Wow, look at the drifts. This is all since this morning. Beside my skid steer. It's probably 4 or 5 inches deep there. So anyways, I got a leak on the bead on this back tire. So if I let the weight sit on it, it goes through that air in no time. So I put a jack under there just to keep the weight off it until my mechanic can. It's one thing I don't have as the machinery to do is to fix the tire. So what I'm going to do is, right now, as you can see, this is a straight blade, and I've got that part in here. I'm just going to leave this all hooked up still, and because I'm going to drill holes. There's already one hole in the bottom there. Let's see, yeah, right there. I'm going to put one more hole right here, and then so I can just bolt these on, and it's going to come out. It's going to come out and square off on the front right about here. So I'll show you what I'm going to use. Once again, this is more leftover parts from the homemade ATV snowblower that I made. And if you haven't seen it, check it out. It's on my channel. So this is what's left over from it. Just give me a second here and I'll pull this out. Wrong way. Sorry. All right. Take out all this crap, all this stuff on the inside here, and I mean this is just spot welded along the inside every 4 inches. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave these guide boots on here, and hopefully I'm going to take this over and we'll see how close this lines up to the bend on the actual blade. So we'll go try that, and we'll be back here in a second. Okay, so this worked out pretty good actually. This, see on the inside, fits perfectly, and that you can almost look like these were made for each other here. Look how perfect, so if I can get an angle you can see, look how perfect they follow each other. They're the exact same height. They're the exact same roll in the back of the pan. So this should work out. Now I've got to get those sides off, which I'm going to do inside my bathroom here. And I'm sure this wind, I'm trying to block it here, is probably making this so hard to hear. But I will be back here in a second. We'll start ripping this apart. Okay, what you're going to want to do first I mean, yeah, I had this kicking around, but you could go to the scrapyard and find something like this. It's not that hard to come by. Old snow blowers. So you're going to take these 3 bolts out on the outside here. Now I've had, I don't know how many snow blowers apart over the years. I do a lot of snow removal. So I've always tried to fix my own stuff if I can. And usually I can. Anything I can't, I do have a Mennonite guy that runs a place close to here that's just amazing to work for, and he doesn't rip you off. So I like that. So do this side now. Now yours may not be the exact same, but generally they're all put together pretty much the same as this. 3 bolts holding the outside, and then you'll have some bolts on the bottom that hold your plate, which I'm going to leave on there. These little skid plates here, I think you can see those. Yeah, the skid plates on the front of the rails here, and that will help me adjust when I set the blade down that it doesn't dig into the ground and stuff. So yes, so now you can see all this is loose, and I'm going to, a lot of times you can pull this back off, pull the bearing, and then all of this will slide out. This has been sitting out there now, so I'm going to see if I can get this off on the back here, so give me a second and I'll turn it around and we'll tackle that part. Okay, so got the main pulley right here, and this is the tensioner for the original one. These are all 1/2 inch. I was using a 13 mil, but this fits better. So you're going to want to take this off here. This is what holds this back pulley onto your the main drive shaft. Now, getting this off, this is where it can be fun sometimes. Sometimes just giving it it up. It's coming now. What I like to do is take your fingers like this, put them in behind the pulley, and then push against with your thumbs, and then just rock it back and forth. And there won't be much tolerance, but enough that you should be able to wiggle it free. Just like that. Now, I don't throw any of this to the scrapyard. I keep all of my big pulleys and stuff like that. I've got a box of probably about 30 different pulleys and wheels like this and brake and belt tensioners. You just never know. And I don't know how many times I've gone into that box looking for something and been able to find it. So, you know, if you think in advance, you might save yourself a few dollars later on. So, now you're going to want to take these retentioner bolts. This holds this back plate in, and this is what holds in the rest of the guts on the inside. So, once again, these are all 1/2 inch. They're 13 mil. 1/2 inch fits better, I find. These nuts on. Once again, I keep all nuts, washers, and reuse them. I generally never have to go to the store and buy nuts, bolts, washers, anything like that, because everything I take apart or stuff like that, or I find, I keep. And you know, I'll spend an hour one day and just go through them all and organize them. So, alright. So now, this is all free. I'm going to get this turned around and we'll get it pulled out. Okay. Now I've got some ice in here. Yeah, of course there's ice in there. Sometimes it can be fun to get out of here. Sometimes if you smack it, you can get it out. Sometimes not. They are... Well, I'm going to mess around with this and get it all taken apart, and we'll be right back. Okay. Well, I actually forgot a crucial part. Kind of funny. I've done this so many times, but not the first time I've actually forgot this, but there's a... Right on the back, right here, there's on the other side of your bearing, there's a little Allen key, and you got to back that Allen key out. Just a tiny little set screw that holds this back bearing and everything on. So now, it should come out a lot easier. Should. Let me get this collar off. Didn't even see there's a second one. Most of them only have one. This one has two, apparently. Well, same as the other side, just turn these out. This is the same procedure that you would do if you wanted to take your snowblower apart and change this throwout bearing. Now, the way you would know if your throwout bearing is gone is if your machine is running and you find that the whole thing is bouncing a lot. Most people don't realize, but this is the throwout bearing. There's a little bearing here. Let me show you. I can show you up close here. I've changed. This is the reason I've had so many of these apart, is because of this. So this bearing right here, that's the bearing that will go on here, and then this whole shaft will shake inside this housing because there's a black clip that goes over, and this is what holds the bearing and everything in. And then this little retainer ring here, this is going to come off, and then the bearing comes off, and then this shaft goes through. Well, if you're changing the bearing, you would just put the bearing over top, put this back on, and then continue putting it back together that way. So now this thing is made in China, I think. So well, not everybody's will be the same, that's for sure. And if these have been sitting a long time, they can be really hard to come off. Now, you don't want to just smack the back of this with a normal hammer because you will flare the end of this thing and it'll never go through that collar. It's pretty much welded on there. I've seen this before where it just does not want to come out. Whatever works for you, you can try. There's sometimes you gotta wiggle it and pull it. Alright, well, I'm gonna mess around and get this thing out of here and then we'll be back. Okay, as you can see, I gave up on trying to take that freaking bolt off on the back. I don't have heat, like I don't have a torch or anything. If I had a torch, that would have came off in a few minutes, but I don't, so I ended up just taking it off right at the front there. Sometimes they come off real easy, sometimes they don't. It's just one of those things. So, next thing to do is now I should be able to show you. You can see, let's see. It's just tacked. See, you can see it right there, so on and so on and so on. So I'm going to take the grinder, grind those tips down, and see if I can get these sides off. I'm hoping this works. So let's see if I can get you set up here. Sorry about the mess too. It's I don't know if that's gonna work. I'm using that new mount I made. I'll show it to you one day. Every time I've been recording, it's been on the actual camera. So, all right. So, got my grinder here, and I've been doing projects after projects after projects. So my room just gets completely destroyed. I got to spend a day again here and get it all cleaned back up. Take the handle off here. Alright, well, I'm sure nobody wants to sit there and listen to that thing for the next 10 minutes or so. So once I get through it, I will turn this back on and you can see her. Okay, so now I've got them all ground down as far as I can on the inside without really wrecking the metal. So now what I'm going to do is take this tiny little punch here, this little flat metal punch, and I'm just going to work my way around until this panel pops up. Now don't drive it down too far that you start bending anything. Keep hitting them until the welds break. could have just kept grinding, but I would have ended up wrecking the side shield, and it wasn't worth it. So taking the punch and taking a little extra time to go around and break it free is a little bit better. As you can tell, it's just about there now. Work my way around to the bottom here. It's pretty tough right there. Okay, may need to do a little more grinding down on this bottom half here, but pretty much got it. So, should maybe do it now. Okay, I'm going to find my punch again. Oh, I found a bigger one. Oh, I don't know what I did with it. There I go, setting things down again. I'm just terrible for losing stuff. But anyways, this should work too. Better with that smaller punch. But give me a minute here to get this panel off and we'll be right back. Okay, I got one side off already, and just about off on this side. So there we go. So now all that's left is kind of looks like a snowplow itself now. And now I've got my two sides. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go turn my skid steer away around so it's not in the wind, and then we'll go out and see how they fit. And I'm quite sure I'm going to have to make some modifications on there, but hey, it is what it is. So I'll be back here in a minute. And yeah, I'm gonna turn the skid steer around and put the blade like right in here, right outside the door. It'll be a lot easier for me and keep me out of the wind at least a little bit. So we're back here in a minute. Okay. Well, I'll see how this fits on here. Now you can see. Fit tighter here. Sure I can. Just like so. And it's not the easiest to videotape, but there's the inside. So I think I've got to trim that little tab off down at the bottom there, and then get these holes marked and get the other one drilled, because I'm going to need 2 holes, which is not going to be fun to drill through because this, as you can tell, is really thick metal. So right on. So I'm going to get these marked up and trimmed up, and then I should be able to just bolt them on. And the nice thing is I'm going to just keep them as bolts so that if I ever need to, I can just take the the sides right off, and it'll be, you know, a matter of 2 bolts. So put some never sees on them, and they should never have a problem taking them out. So now the one thing is this is a tip blade. So if this thing does tip forward, it's only going to tip so much because of the box front, but it shouldn't make that much of a difference. So I'm going to get these drilled, and we'll be back here shortly. Okay, well, I got them on. Right now they're still blue. I'm going to paint them. It's even hard to tell on the camera that they're blue. But and I've only got 1 bolt in because all my drills died, of course. So they're all charging. But there you go. They're very simply turn a straight blade into a box blade. Now keep in mind, this isn't, you know, it doesn't have like a 2-foot out on the front, you know, we're going to gather a whole bunch of snow, but this is going to stop a lot of that overflow from flowing over the ends on me. So it is really starting to snow now. As you can see, look up in the sky. Miserable day, and it's going to be like this for the next week. So here comes the snow. It's starting to snow really hard. So thanks everybody for subscribing, and if you're not a subscriber, please click the subscribe button. And yeah, actually up here in the corner right here is the subscribe button, so hit that and that'll take you to my channel, and please subscribe and like, and feel free to comment on any of my videos. Alright everybody, have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon.